Hello everyone. This video is brought to you by the Seventh Monk. It is in continuation with the lecture series on CBSE Class 12 Macroeconomics. This is Unit 2 Money and Banking. It is of 6 marks in your CBSE board examination, so it is extremely important in order to get high marks in economics as well as to understand higher level economics, because in graduation level you will find that money and banking is a separate subject. So in order to understand all those concepts, it is required to form the base over here, right? So I'll prefer you to go through each and everything very attentively, because this chapter will help you to understand your economy in a better way. So basically in this chapter we will do the meaning of money, supply of money, and the components of money supply. Then we will do money creation, which is also called credit creation by commercial banking system. After that we will do the functions of central bank. All right, so basically in this video we will cover the first part, that is money, meaning of money supply, and the components of money supply. We will cover money creation or credit creation in a separate video, and the functions of central bank in another video. See, the questions from money and money supply are either of 1 or 3 marks, right? You will find 6 markers either from money creation or from central bank and its functions. So these two are extremely important. This is also important, but you won't find any question of 6 marks from here. Okay, you will just get 1 or 3 marker from here. All right, so let's get started. Before telling you about the meaning of money, the supply of money, I want to discuss about the origin of money at some length, although that is not there in your syllabus. But in order to have a better grasp over all the concepts, I will prefer to discuss those concepts also with you. So before the origin of money, there was barter system, right? Barter system was a system in which commodities are exchanged for commodities. For example, if Ram has wheat, right, and Sham has potatoes, right? And Ram wants potatoes in exchange of wheat, and Sham wants wheat in exchange of potatoes. So both will exchange their commodities with each other. In this way, there will be mutual fulfillment of wants without the use of money. So this was barter system, right? But there were certain problems with barter system. Now, what were those problems? We will discuss about them at some length. Then you will automatically find that due to these problems, money came into existence. Okay, these problems paved way for money, right? So what were those problems? See, here the case that I explained you is extremely simple, that the wheat that Ram has is required by Sham, and the potatoes that Sham has are required by Ram. Okay, but what if Sham do not want wheat in exchange of his potatoes? He wants shoes. So what Ram will do? Ram first have to find a shoemaker who wants wheat in exchange of shoes. Then he will take his shoes to Sham, and then he will take potatoes in exchange of those shoes, right? So here you can see that there is a lot of problem, right? Because Sham do not want what Ram have, right, in exchange of his potatoes. So for barter system to exist, it is very important that there should be double coincidence of wants. Now what is this double coincidence of wants? See, double coincidence of wants means simultaneous fulfillment of mutual wants by buyers and sellers. All right, it means whatever Ram has is required by Sham, and whatever Sham has is required by Ram. So they are mutually exchanging their commodities and are fulfilling their wants. That is called double coincidence of wants. Now it is very rare when owner of some goods or services could find someone else who wanted his goods or services and also possess the goods and services which that person requires. It is very hard to find such people. Okay, that's why that is the biggest problem with barter system, that there is double coincidence of wants. Another problem is that there was huge trading cost. Now what is this trading cost? See, trading cost means they have to search for the person who require their item, right? So that cost is called trading cost, right? So it was very high in barter system. We can see that, right? Then there was lack of unit of value. There was no unit of value. Now, what do we mean by saying unit of value? Unit of value means that common measure. Okay, so in barter system, there was no common measure of value of goods and services, right? So in absence of a common unit of measurement, there was this problem, right? That some people got much in exchange of less, right? For example, how much wheat you will exchange in order to get potatoes. There was no such common measures. For example, one bucket of milk for 12 bananas isn't justified, right? But such things used to happen in a barter system, right? So, in the absence of a common unit, proper accounting was not possible. So, among the two parties who were exchanging their commodities, one was in profit and the other was in loss, right? Because one was getting more and the other was getting less. So, a there was a lack of unit of value, okay, and due to this we can say that this barter system was not that successful, okay. For example, you cannot exchange one goat with one cow. There is no measure, right? But such things used to happen in barter system. And then there was lack of divisibility. Now, what is divisibility? See, there are certain goods which cannot be divided. For example, you cannot give half cow to someone, right? Because cow will not fetch milk then. Okay, cow is for milk, and there is no point of giving half cow to someone. Okay, so goods cannot be divided. Some goods cannot be divided and subdivided, right? So in the barter system, there was impossibility of subdivision of goods without the loss of their value. Okay, so here the same example will work. For example, if a person has a cow and he wants to have 5 kg of wheat in return, right? So obviously we all know that cow is more costly than 5 kg of wheat, right? So he is not willing to give his entire cow in return of that 5 kg of wheat, but he cannot give just the tail or just the ears of the cow because they will be of no use, right? So there was indivisibility, right? Lack of divisibility, or we can say indivisibility of the things that were there in barter system. Okay. Then there was lack of store of value. Now, what does it mean? See, we cannot do savings with commodities. For example, there is a person who manufactures tomatoes, right? He cannot save his tomatoes for entire year because there is a problem. Potatoes are perishable goods. Okay, so they would be perished, okay, if the person will save them for the entire year. There would be storage cost, etc. So there is lack of store of value. Now you can see we can keep money wherever we want, we can store them, but there was problem for storing the commodities in CC economy, all right. Then there was lack of standard of deferred payment. Now deferred payment means future payment. So okay, so barter system lacks a standard of future payment. It creates a problem of entering into contracts which involve further payment, right? For example, if today it's a marriage of my daughter, okay, and I asked you to give me 4 goats, and you provided me 4 goats which were very much strong and they had a lot of flesh. I gave party, I offered party to my guest, and once the marriage is over, I returned you 5 goats which were very weak, which were very lame. So so was it justifiable? Okay, no, not at any cost, right? Because you gave me very strong and fleshy goats and I am giving you skinny goats. So this is not fair at all, okay? So there was lack of standard of deferred payment. Now in today's world, if I'm asking for 5,000 rupees uh, to you today, then I'll return same 5,000 to you tomorrow, right? So there is a measure of deferred payment in money, but there was not any measure of deferred payment in case of commodities, right? If you are giving me very red and very juicy tomatoes and I am returning you very very greeny tomatoes which are not, which has not ripened properly, so that would be injustice with you. So there was lack of standard of deferred payment, all right, because there would have been disagreement regarding the quality of goods, disagreement regarding the specific types of good. For example, there are breeds in commodities as well, right? So there would have been disagreement regarding that. Okay, there are possible disagreements about change in the value of the good, right? As a commodity may lose or gain its value over the duration of time, right? For example, when I asked you for onions, then there was inflation in the economy and the price of onions was skyrocketed. Okay, at that time, the value of onions was very much, right? And onions were very less in the economy. At that time, I asked for 5 onions from you, and I am returning 5 onions when there are a lot of onions. Every household is filled with onions, onions, and onions, and people are not caring about onions. And if at that time I'll provide you 5 onions, then you will disagree, right? You will say that the value has fallen. You should give me something more, right? Because at that time the value of one onion was equivalent to 50 onion, and now you are giving me just 5 onion. At this time the value is just very less, right? So you will disagree. So these were the problems that arose due to barter system, which paved way for money. So as a result of all these problems, there were a lot of debate among people, and then this money came into being, right? So money was used as a common measure where people exchanged their goods in return of this unit, this measure, or what I can say, this commodity. It's not exactly a commodity, it is just a paper. In return of this paper, that is money. Now what is this money? So in order to understand this money, we have a lot of definition: legal definition, functional definition, narrow, broad definition, money, near money. There are a lot of definitions. Okay, if you will Google out for the definition of money, you will find hundreds of definitions for it. So here we will study some of those definitions selectively in order to have a good grasp over what is money. So please focus on it, because this question many times came in your CBSE exams as 1 marker or as 3 marker. Okay, so please focus on it. Mostly it is a 1 marker, right? So what is this money? So first of all, we will start with its legal definition, right? So legal definition means whatever the law is saying. Okay, so whatever the law says is money will be the money according to the legal definition. Okay, for example, if the law says, a law proclaims that the stone will be money, then it would be considered as money, right? You can see what are paper notes and currency actually is. It is nothing but a piece of paper, but the law is saying that that is money. That's why we all are considering and abiding to it, and we are using it as money. So according to legal definition, whatever the law says is money. Okay, so according to this aspect, we have two types of money, right? Legal tender money and non-legal tender money. Okay, so I hope that legal money is clear to you. It is anything that the law proclaims to be money. It is commonly accepted as a measure of value, and it is endowed with legal tender power. That's why it is legal money. Now it has two parts: legal tender money and non-legal tender money, right? Now what is this legal tender money? See, legal tender money means that money which is defined under the law of land as money. Okay, for example, in India, paper notes and coins are considered to be legal tender money, right? Legal tender money are also called fiat money, right? Why fiat money? Because fiat means order. Since it serves as money on the orders, on the fiat of government, that's why it is also called fiat money. Okay, it is either limited legal tender or unlimited legal tender. Legal tender status is given to money as limited and unlimited legal tender. Limited legal tender are coins, because you can spend coins only up to a limit, right? So legal tender coin, limited legal tender is coin. So if there will be a 1 marker that what is limited legal tender, then you have to write it as coin. Why it is a limited legal tender? Because you can do a payment in coin only up to a certain limit. Okay, more than that, anyone can say no for accepting that payment, right? But up to a certain limit, the person cannot deny the payment done in coins, right? So it is a money which can be accepted up to a certain maximum limit. Example, in India, coins up to only 1000 can be accepted legally in payment, all right? Because otherwise the person will have some counting problems, okay? That's why coins are limited legal tender. Then currency notes are unlimited legal tender. Okay. Why they are unlimited? Because they can be given up to any limit. Okay. So currency notes are unlimited legal tender. All right. So it is a money which can be accepted or up to any limit, right? So the person cannot deny accepting currency notes up to any limit. That's why it is called unlimited legal tender. Then we have non-legal tender money, which is also called fiduciary money. Okay, it is also called optional money, right? This money is accepted on the basis of trust that the issuer of money commands. For example, if you are giving check to someone, then the law of land has not defined that piece of paper, that check, as money, but still it is accepted on the basis of trust, okay, on the basis that the account holder will have the money on his or her account, right? On basis of that trust, this money is accepted, hence it is called fiduciary money, all right? Fiduciary means which is based on trust. Okay, so it includes credit instruments like drafts, checks, bills of exchange, etc. Okay, so, non-legal tender money or fiduciary money is basically nothing but demand deposits with banks. Okay, so this was all about legal money. Now coming to the functional definition of money. See, it is very important. Whenever a question is asked to you about the definition of money, it is better to write the functional definition because it tells you about what money is in a very clear and succinct way. Okay. Further, for extending your answer, you can write that whatever is defined by the law of land as money is money. That is by including legal definition of money. But functional definition of money is more vibrant than legal definition, right? So it defines money as anything that performs these four functions. That is a function of measure of value, medium of exchange, store of value, and standard of deferred payment. You can see that all these things were absent in barter system, and the commodity, sorry, or the thing, right? Anything that is performing all these four functions together is called money, right? You can see that it is a measure of value because you're giving rupees 30 for a bunch of bananas and you're giving rupees 50 for mangoes. So it is defining the value of different commodities. It is a medium of exchange because if you want to have apples, then in return of those apples, you are providing money. Hence, it is a medium of exchange. It is a store of value, right? Because you can store money, right? Because money will not what I can say, will not lose its value over time, unlike tomatoes. It will lose due to market forces, but not due to the forces uh, like pest and all. Okay, it will reduce its value only due to the forces of market like supply and demand. Okay, then standard of deferred payment. It is a standard of future payment. For example, suppose I asked for rupees 500 today from you, then tomorrow I'll return rupees 500 to you. There will be no such measure that you gave me a more stronger note and I am giving you a weak note. There will be no such thing because the value allotted to all the 500 rupees note is same. Okay, that is of rupees 500. All right. So it is a standard of deferred payment, right? That's why on loans there is an interest because over inflation the value of money is rising each year. Okay, and also in order to earn more money, the banks are charging interest to you. That you will learn in further slides. Don't worry about it. Just for now, learn that money is anything that performs these four functions of MMSS. That is measure of value, medium of exchange, store of value, and standard of deferred payment. All right. So anything that is performing all these four functions together is called money. All right. Now coming to narrow money and broad money. See, narrow money is based on the medium of payment function of money, right? It includes currency and demand deposits. So anything that is used as a medium of payment, like your currency, will be called money according to the narrow definition. Okay, it will only include the currency that you have and the demand deposits that you have with bank. But the broad definition will also includes your saving, your other demand deposits, okay, your time deposits, that is fixed deposits with banks and post office, right? So it is based on the store of value function of money, because here your fixed deposits are stored with the post office and banks. So that's why broad definition of money includes everything that you have, including your fixed deposits as well. That's why it is a broader definition, and that's why it is a narrower definition, because it is including only some components, right? Some functions of money, but broad money is including most of the functions of money. You will know more about narrow money and broad money till our last slide, because there we will study about various other things which will make narrow money and broad money more clearer. Okay, more clear. Now see, there is one more concept of money and near money. Now what is this money and near money? See, money is anything which is used as a medium of payment and has a legal sanction. Alright. So therefore it refers to paper currency and coins and demand deposit. It is basically nothing but cash. Okay, so if I'm saying money, so money means cash. It is the most liquid form of money. All right, the most liquid thing that you have, in exchange of which you can get anything. But near money is a close substitute of money, right? It can be easily converted into cash. It is not cash, but it can be converted into cash. It is highly liquid asset. It is totally liquid. Money is totally liquid, but near money is highly liquid. Okay. For example, bonds, shares, gold, etc. By selling all these things, you can get money easily, right? That's why it is near money, because it can be converted into money as and when you require, right? It cannot be used directly as a medium of exchange. First, near money needs to be converted into money, but your money can be directly used as exchange, used for exchange, okay, used as a medium of exchange, but near money cannot be. First, it needs to be converted into money. All right. So till now we studied about legal definition, functional definition, narrow and broad definition of money, money and near money. So if there is a question on money, right, you can easily attempt it by defining that what will be called money, what are the functions that are required for anything to be called as money, okay, and what are the legal criteria for anything to be called as money. There will be certainly some one markers also from this chapter, in which questions like what is legal tender money, which is what is non-legal tender money, could be asked. Okay, so that's why all the concepts that we did till now are very important for your one markers. Now let's see what are the characteristics of money. These are not generally asked in your examination. These will be never asked in your examination, but still I want to discuss all these things with you to have a better grasp over all these concepts. Okay. So money is anything which has general acceptability. We all are accepting it as a medium of exchange, all right? No one can deny a payment made in money, right? Then it is a medium of exchange. Whatever you want, you just give money in return of that, you will get it, all right? Then it is a measure of value. It is assigning value to various things, right? To cloth, to tomatoes, potatoes, etc. It is assigning some value. So it is a measure of value. Then it is also a store of value, because you can store money for a longer period. It is a standard of deferred, that is future payments, right? It is a liquid asset, because in return of that you can get anything that you want. It has durability, it has divisibility. Now what is durability? It is not perishable, you can keep it with you for a longer time. That is it is durable, it can be used again and again, right? So for example, tomatoes were perished just after one use, because people would have would have eaten them, right? But people will not eat money directly. So there is no direct use, hence they are durable. They can be used again and again for years and years, right? Then there is divisibility. You have changes, right? For example, in order to get a change of 500 rupees, you have further denominations like 200 rupee note, 100 rupee note, 50 rupee note, 20 rupee note, 10 rupee note, 5 rupee coin and note as well, right? So it is divisible. There is divisibility, right? Then it has portability. You can carry it from one place to another very easily, while the cow was difficult to transport and to store. Wasn't that right? That was in barter system. But here, currency can be easily put in our pocket. Then it is a means, not an end. Right? Money is just a means to satisfy our wants. Hence, money does not provide any direct satisfaction. Can you eat money? No. But you can eat chocolate that you can buy from money. Right? Can you write on money? No. But you can buy a notebook to write by that money. So money is not directly satisfying our wants, but it is certainly a means through which we can satisfy our wants. Okay, so these were some of the major characteristics of money. So anything that is fulfilling all these characteristics together will be called money, right? Now coming to the next important concept from which many questions were repeatedly seen in past year papers is money supply. So this question, what is money, and explain money supply and its components, is often seen in your question paper. So that's why this concept is also extremely important, right? Now, I think you are already familiar with this term. In the last lecture, that was about national income, I told you that there are two types of concepts, right? Stock concepts and flow concept. While teaching you about stock concept, I cited money supply as an example. Now, here you will be learning about that money supply in detail. So, it is nothing but the total volume or the total amount of money that is held by the public at a particular point of time, right? So, what is the total stock of money in circulation in an economy at a given point of time will be your money supply. Okay, that how much money is circulating at a particular time in the entire economy. Since here we are measuring money supply, right, at a particular time, the amount of money in circulation in the economy at a particular time, that's why it is a stock concept, right? You are already aware with this fact that stock concepts are those concepts which are measured at a particular point of time. Okay, so if I'm saying money supply, I'm asking that how much money is in circulation in the economy at this point, right? At this time, right? So that would be money supply. And this is a stock concept because money supply changes, right, simultaneously, because it is going from government to public, then again and again it is revolving, right? Because people are buying many services from government as well. And the government is also taking many services from people. In return of that, government is paying. So money supply is changing at every hour, right? So since it is, that's why it is a stock concept, because we are asking for it at a particular time, at a particular minute, right? So I hope that this is clear to you. Basically, there are two components of money supply: currency component and deposit component. See, currency component include your paper notes and coins which are held by the public at a particular point of time. Alright. So currency components has two things. These are paper notes and coins, right? That people have at this point of time. Alright. And deposit component includes all the net demand deposit against which checks are issued that are held by the commercial bank. Alright. So whatever your savings are there with commercial banks, against which you can issue a check and can make any payment that you wish to make, will be called demand deposit. Alright. So demand deposit are basically those deposit with banks which can be withdrawn on demand through checks, right? Those are demand deposits. So that is called the deposit components, which include all the net demand deposit, right, which are held by the commercial bank. And all the currency components are also the part of components of money supply. Okay, so if a question will come which will ask you about money supply and its component, then simply first you have to define money supply, that is the total amount of money in circulation in an economy at a particular point of time, and it has got two components, currency component and deposit component. Currency components will include all the paper notes and coins that are there in an economy at a particular point of time, and deposit component will include all the net demand deposit against which checks are issued that are held by the commercial bank. Okay, now what is this commercial bank and central bank? You will get to know about it in the succeeding videos. For now, remember that central bank is RBI, right? And all the other banks are commercial banks like SBI, PNB, etc. Okay, so then there are some other concepts as well, like credit money, full bodied money, demand deposit. Demand deposit, you already know it, right? These are those deposits with bank which can be withdrawn on demand through check. But credit money and full bodied money is quite new to you. So let's discuss these two terms, right? Credit money refers to that money of which money value is more than the commodity value, right? For example, value of paper is much less than the value printed on it. That is credit money. You can see that your notes are simply a piece of paper, right? But their value is much higher. For example, if you see a 2000 rupees note, what is printed on that? It is printed that it is of rupees 2000, right? So it is of rupees 2000, but its value is very less. Okay, the paper on which it is printed is not of rupees 1000, but since rupees 2000 or 1000 is printed on it, 1000 notes are not there now. Since rupees 2000 is printed on it, or rupees 100 is printed on it, that's why it possesses the value of rupees 2000 or rupees 100 respectively. So it is a credit money, right? That money whose money value is more, right? The value that is written on that paper, 2000, is more than the value of that paper itself. Okay, because that paper is hardly of rupees 10 or 20, but the value that is printed on it is much higher. Okay, so any money whose money value is greater than the commodity value with which it is printed or minted, then that will be called credit money. I hope that this is clear to you. Then coming to the next, that is full bodied money. It is that money whose money value and commodity value is exactly equal. For example, gold, right? It was used in ancient times, right? Gold coins, etc. were used now. So that was an example of full bodied money. So it is that money whose commodity value is just equal to the money value as and when these are issued. Gold coins of ancient time are example of full bodied money. Okay, so nowadays what we find credit money, not full bodied money. Okay, because we cannot do anything by those notes, but full bodied money has a value of its own, right? So the gold has its value of its own. We would have made jewelry out of that gold, but we cannot make jewelry out of the paper that is used for printing money. Okay, that money can buy anything for us, but it is not of any use on its own, right? So credit money is that whose money value is higher than commodity value. Full bodied money is that whose money value is equal to the commodity value. And demand deposit, you already know, those deposits with bank against with we can issue a check and we can get them in return. So this is the last topic. These are the measures of money supply. Okay, if you will check it out in the syllabus, I guess it is not there now. You have only money, the meaning of money and money supply, but I found that this is also very important to discuss with you. Okay, because I don't know that whether these will come or not. These will surely not come in your examination, but these are extremely important for understanding all the economic articles that you will read in various newspapers. All right, so there are four measures of money supply, okay, according to Reserve Bank of India, on the basis of their liquidity. These are M1, M2, M3 and M4. M1 is most liquid. All right, as we go on moving like this, liquidity decreases, right? This is the most liquid, then this is somewhat less, this is somewhat less, and this is somewhat more less. All right. You will find one more thing over here, the narrow and broad definition that we discussed earlier. You will see that the one that are more liquid will show you the narrow definition, and the one that are not that much liquid but contains the liquid aspect of money as well, those are broader definitions of money. So M1 include currency held by the public. Okay, C is currency held by the public, all the demand deposits and all the other deposits, right, with RBI. Okay, so all those things are included in M1. M2 includes all the components of M1, that is currency held by public, demand deposit and other deposit, plus saving deposit with post office or saving bank, post office saving bank. Okay, so all those savings which are there with post office saving bank is also included in M2, right? Then M3 includes all the components of M1, right, plus the net time deposit with commercial bank. Now what are these net time deposit? These are fixed deposit. Say fixed deposit matures after a particular period of time, you cannot withdraw it, right, before that time. So these are not that much liquid, that's why these are in M3. Okay, it includes M1 plus all your fixed deposits with commercial bank. Then M4 includes M3, that is M3 is M1 plus net time deposit with commercial bank, so it includes M3 plus total deposit with post office. So it is printed here over wrong. It is post office, right? With post office excluding national savings certificate, right? So whatever the deposits are there with post office, right? This one is also included in M3, excluding National Savings Certificate. All right, all those things are included in M4. So M1 and M2 are narrow money, right? And M3 and M4 are broad money. M1 is the most liquid measure, you can see over here, right? So what is the most liquid measure? It is M1. And M4 is the least liquid as it cannot be easily converted into cash. And M3 is most commonly used used to measure money supply. Okay, it is the most commonly used measure of money supply, M3, right? Because these are the things that are most common, right? And after that we are done with almost everything of this video. In the next video we will talk about credit creation. Now see, earlier there were such questions, but now I don't think so that such questions will be asked. The question is asking you to calculate M1, M2, M3 and M4 measures of money supply using this data, right? So here it is saying that the currency and coins with public are 26,000, demand deposit of commercial banks are 16,000, other deposit with RBI are 25,000, net time deposit with commercial banks are 10,000, total deposit with post office are 14,000, and saving deposits with post office saving banks are 5,000. All right, so we have to calculate all the four measures. So M1 you all know uh, is C plus DD plus OD, that is currency held by public plus demand deposit plus other deposit with RBI. So it would be this 26,000, right, currency and coins with public, plus this 16,000, that is demand deposit of commercial banks, right, plus this 24,000, that is other deposits with RBI. When we will add all these three things together, we will get M1 as 66,000, right? Then M2 will be M1, that is 66,000 plus savings with post office. So savings with post office saving banks is 5,000. So when we will add 66,000, that is M1 with 5,000, we will get M2 as 71,000, right? Then M3 will be M1, that was 66,000 plus net time deposit with commercial banks, that is 10,000, then we will get M3 as 76,000, right? And then finally when we will find M4, it would be M3, that is 76,000 plus total deposit with post office, which is equal to 14,000, then it would be equal to 90,000, right? So in this way you would be given with all the components, you just need to find all the things that are asked to you, right? Everything would be given in the question itself. So with this we are done with everything. That was the subject matter of this first video, that is money and money supply. So practice this question, practice writing this question, that what is money and what are the components of money supply, right? What is money supply, and what are its components? These are the only questions that can be asked to you from this lecture. All the other concepts I discussed with you for clearing this topic to a larger extent, because you need to know it, right? Although your syllabus is not including these topics now, but you should know it in order to understand your economy in a better way, right? So we are done with the first thing. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. If you like it, then please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, The Seventh Monk. Thank you.